Hey guys, it's Jared. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up a unit priced product. So typically how our system works and how it was designed was to start with all of your direct costs, materials, labor, equipment, trucking, etc. And once we cover your costs, then we apply your markups. So indirect, overhead, and or profit and or indirect and overhead, I should say. And then we come to a unit price. Doing that allows us to accurately measure your direct costs and make sure those are covered, and then we're hitting the margin you're expecting to back into a unit price for a given product. However, there's lots of situations where you need to just do I want to build this on a per unit pricing. Think of bollard installation. I want to charge $150 per bollard, right? Or for many, there's a situation where I've been doing unit pricing for a long time, say 20 cents a square foot for sill, or 30 cents a square foot for ceiling, right? Or $1 a linear foot for crack. And I want to continue to use that method as I familiarize myself with what my production rates actually are, what my equipment costs, what my labor rates are, etc., to get to a more granular, deeper level cost-based estimating process. And that's totally okay. So in this video, we're going to show you a couple of different ways that we can account for a unit priced estimate, right? A unit priced product as we get more and more granular into accounting for equipment, accounting for labor, and accounting for material or trucking or anything else like that. So let's go ahead and jump in. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go to product settings. Now I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. The first way is the most basic, where all I want to do is take a number of units, whether that's a number of square feet, number of linear feet, square yards, or unit, and multiply it by some amount to get to a total. So I'm going to go into my asphalt paving product here. We can create a new product. And now at the top, we've got this unit price product. So typically what we ask is, tell me how much your material costs. Tell me what is your application rate, or in this case, what is your depth, your asphalt depth? What is your equipment cost, etc., etc. In this case, all we're going to do is toggle on a unit price product. And we're going to call this, let's call this asphalt patch. And on the proposal, we want to call this asphalt patch repair. We're still going to measure this by, let's say, the square feet, okay? And we can do 500 square feet of patches in a given day. But now in this case, what is your unit price per square foot, in this case, for a patch? I'm going to say we're going to charge $5 per square foot to patch this. Now, if I just wanted to say per unit, and we're going to charge $500 per patch, right? You can add, I'm going to do 5 patches at $500 each, would be $2,500 in the proposal itself. You can optionally apply a markup on top of this. So using that $500, we're going to do 5 times 500 is $2,500. If you had a 10% markup, we would then add 10% of that, which would be $250 to that proposal. In this case, I'm going to set that to 0, 0, and then we still want to describe this product within the proposal. We will cut and replace. We're going to use our job measurement. Areas cut and replace with new asphalt areas. Good enough. So if we entered 5 in the proposal, we will cut and replace with new asphalt 5 areas, 5 potholes, 5, however you want to describe this. So this is the first way. Now we have a unit priced asphalt patch product. Okay, very basic. Tell me how many units or linear feet or square feet or whatever you're doing to measure that job. Tell me how many you're doing. We're going to multiply it by the unit price, and that's what the total is going to be. So if you have If you set up a seal coating version of this, you had 1,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet, let's call it a driveway, 2,000 square feet, and we're going to charge 50 cents a square foot, right? 2,000 times 50 cents, your total would come out to be $1,000 for that. Very easy, very basic. So the second option is going to be a little bit different. We're going to use our generic product type. So what the generic product type is all of these different categories: asphalt, generic, crack seal. All of these have different formulas within our backend to determine how much material you should use, to determine how long job should take, etc. Okay, so a generic is just kind of an open formula that can be used across many different things. So I'm going to go ahead and create a unit priced bollard option here. Okay, so here we don't have the option up here, but I'll show you how we do this. So this is bollard per unit, and we're going to call this just bollard installation. Our measurement now is going to be on a per unit method, okay? And our material cost is going to be per unit. We're going to buy one bollard, 1 unit, right, per installation. So now we're going to break out material costs from labor costs. If you wanted to include equipment, you could, but we're going to say we're going to buy, each bollard is $150 per bollard. Let's bump this, $250. We can bill this by man hour. So we can say we can complete 10 units in a day, okay? And what we're going to do there is, if you can do 10 units in a day and your job settings within your organization settings is set to 10-hour days, then logically it takes you 1 hour to install one bollard. So if in the proposal you typed in 10, we're going to calculate out that this should take you 10 hours, okay? 1 hour per bollard. We will then multiply that number by, if we have a bollard crew, I don't know if I do have one in here. Let's use our same sign installation crew, okay? We're going to multiply the number of hours, in this case 10 hours, by your sign installation crew rate. So we already have a crew set up for this, and that's going to be the rate. We've got our typical minimums here. We're going to leave zeros in all of these. And again, we will install job measurement, bollards. Okay. And now you can add on additional equipment costs or any additional costs, right? So now what we're doing is we're still going to charge a per unit rate. We're going to measure this by the unit. We're going to charge a per unit rate based on our material costs, separate from our labor or equipment costs. And so we're still going to type in 10 units, and we're going to separate out all of those other costs. So this is just another way that we can get a little bit more granular in calculating a per unit or per each type product. Okay, so now let's jump into a proposal. So I'm just in an existing proposal. This is kind of some dummy stuff that we're doing here. So I'm going to go to our unit priced asphalt patch. So we're measuring this per unit. We were talking about doing 5 patches. So now we've got 5 units, 5 patches times by $500 for a total of $2,500. Easy peasy. You can still add images to this, etc., directly to that proposal. Separately, let's look at our bollard. So now you can see that we have a bollard per unit. And now we're going to say 10 units in this case. So because we can do 10 in a given day, we know this is going to take 1 day or 10 hours. That's our setting, 10 working hours per day. We need 10 units. 10 units at $250 is $2,500. We didn't set up any equipment costs. We said we're going to charge $50 per hour in this case. And so we've got $50. We're accounting for mob time and job time. So here's our $589 in labor costs. So in this case, our total is going to be $308 per unit for $3,000. Now, let me show you one other thing here. If we come back into our bollard, and we're now going to build this at a per unit complete. Now, instead of accounting for our time, we're just counting for per unit. So if I save this, I'm going to refresh this screen. Now we can see that our unit price has changed to $300. So 10 units times 250 is $2,500, and 10 units times $50 is $500. So we've got $300 per unit for a total of $3,000. So lots of levers and dials that you can pull and twist here to get it to where you want to dial this in. But we have both ways. If you want to account for all of your costs to back into a unit price, great. We can do that. Get as granular as you want to get. If you want to account for simply this number of units, be it square feet, linear feet, or unit, right, times by some number, great. We can account for that. And if you want to get to an in-between where you still separate out material or equipment or labor, but do it on a per unit basis, we can get that as well. This just gives you a lot of flexibility of how you want to estimate directly within the Bitumio software. Hope that was helpful. Reach out, let us know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.